check it out. Here's the thing. I gave a little tidbit on Instagram that never got on Facebook because it didn't go live. So here I am live today, Dallas, Texas. I want to help you break down what would it take for you to become financially free and have peace of mind. Now, for some people, that means an extra $500 a month. For some people, that means $5,000 a month. And for some people, quite honestly, that means $5,000 a day. It depends on what your dreams are. Maybe you want to start a church or a movement or a nonprofit, or you want to save all the dogs that need rescued, or you want to go build a shelter for the homeless. The size of your dream and your consistency and how long you keep at it has everything to do with your success. So for me, peace of mind means that I put God first, then my family, and that I make impact. And so if I had a ton of money, which there have been chapters where I had none, and I had so much love and so much excitement and such a dream, that I was happier than days where I had a lot of money and I had a ton of pressure and I was in business with people that I didn't like and I didn't enjoy my day-to-day activities. Peace of mind means you feel good. And the phrase we say all the time is feel good now. So my question to you is, what would it take for you to feel good, to have peace of mind? And I want you to take out a sheet of paper and write down peace of mind. I have complete peace of mind, because for some people, peace of mind right now doesn't mean they need more money. For some people, peace of mind means they need a relationship, someone to look forward to spending their future with, maybe having children, maybe moving into a different home. For some people, peace of mind means I got to get out of this job I hate. I got to rescue my husband from his 2 jobs and at least have him only working 1. You know, for some of you, you want your wife to be able to be home with your children, or just to be able to go to the ball games and not have to be on call. One of our top leaders always talks about what it was like to miss state football and to have her pager and be a nurse. And today, she doesn't have to have a pager. She doesn't have to work her job that was the breadwinning income of the family. And so peace of mind looks different for everyone. And I want to help you dial that in, because when you have peace of mind, you're going to feel good. And when you feel good, you're going to do good. And when you do good, it's going to bring value. And when you bring value, it's going to show up in your bank account. Some people have this completely different. They say, oh, Barb, I would have peace of mind too if I had your money. Guys, I didn't have peace of mind for a long time before I had the success. And to be honest with you, sitting in this hotel today, I look back at coming to this event year after year after year after year. Sometimes I was winning. Sometimes I was getting my complete ass kicked. And there were mentors along the way that would encourage me, love me where I was at, see the value that I could bring, keep telling me good affirmations about myself. And when you say something long enough, you think it, you believe it, you speak it, you will get it. So what you think about, you're going to bring about. But some people are just praying for something to come along. They're hoping that something will come along. And then when it does, and I can tell you this from experience, you're like, no, God, like I could never do that. Well, faith without action is dead. Faith without taking a risk is an absolute contradiction. So sometimes you got to ask yourself, what do I believe? Because we're all co-creating our every single day. Every day when I wake up, man, today I was so tired. Let me be completely vulnerable and honest with you. Last night, I was at dinner until midnight with a guy that styled Michael Jackson. Literally with a guy that styled the Obama family the whole time they were in presidency. I was sitting at dinner with a guy that recruited every professional basketball player that went big, has a huge name here in Dallas. And I don't know a lot about sports, but I do have a son-in-law that's amazing professional basketball player. And sitting at this table was Michael Jackson's stylist, one of the top stylists, in the industry, a recruiter, and he's married to a woman whose husband or dad was one of the greatest of all time basketball players. I'm not going to name drop here. And I was also across from a woman that holds every record ever in one of the biggest direct sales companies in the world. If I said the name, you would know that. Well, I'm just going to say the name. I was at dinner with Gloria Mayfield Banks, a man named Keith, a man named Dr. Paul and his wife, Dr. Paul Ritter, and I wasn't selling them anything. I was sitting at a table soaking up the power of proximity and learning and growing and saying, how could I be the number one that I want to be? I want to be the number one wife. I want to be the number one mom. I want to be the number one grandma. I want to be the number one person that shows up for me every single day, not just serves everyone else, because you can't give something that you don't have. So who are you hanging around? What are they doing to you? And is that okay? Now, some people would say, I wish I could get to the table with those kind of people. Let me tell you guys what happened. I was standing in line watching this entourage of people line up to get pictures and autographs and all the things. And I heard Paul say, I'm so hungry. Should we take the escalator? But they had to show up. They had to sign. They had to take pictures, all the things. And I said, you know what? I know what it feels like to be in a line with so many people that want to meet you. Let me go save you a table. Would a table for 6 be enough? And I walked down the street in my heels, down the block, and I reserved a table for 6. And I said, there's going to be 6 of us. And when they came and the restaurant was getting ready to close, I had a table for 6. You know, what you've got to do sometimes is do the bold thing. You've got to believe that you're enough to sit at that table. You've got to act as if you're already working together. You've got to believe that the money is going to flow into your account before it's coming. And some of you are just soft. There was a time where I was soft. I was a leader that said, oh my gosh, everyone in our hometown talks bad about us. We went financially failure. My dad left and I don't have a dad. My mom lost our home. She's living in a trailer house with my 4 little siblings. She should be on food stamps, but she's too proud, right? I was working night shifts at a Stop to Shop, going to beauty school from 9 to 5 because college was not in the cards for me when my dad left. All of my dreams were shattered. But I said, how can I do the best with what I have right now to level up? And I knew that I loved people. I loved helping people. I wanted to make them feel good, look good, be a better version of themselves. I love children. By the way, I have the most beautiful little grandson that's 2 weeks old yesterday at 4:08. His name is Crew David. And I think about the legacy, the future generations that are going to say, that was my mom. That was my grandma. That was my great grandma. And I want to ask you, who are you building what you're building for? Who are you impacting? What are you doing? In my 20s, it was little girls that would come to a dance class. They would come to Barb School of Dance and I would say, you're beautiful. You are enough. I want to help you get so good that you're going to be in the front row leading this whole team. You're going to do a solo. We're going to take you to competition. And these were little girls that didn't believe in themselves. But I could just breathe a little bit of hope in them. On Valentine's Day, I would send 150 carnations because they were cheap, right? A pink carnation to their school that said, Happy Valentine's Day, I love you, because I remember being the girl that didn't get a flower. I remember being the girl that didn't have anyone to go to the sweetheart dance with. I remember my mom and dad working sun up until sundown and feeling like I was just this ugly duckling that nobody cared about because I had red hair and freckles. And, you know, I would do anything to get in the circle with the cool kids. But I want to tell you something. Some of you are in the wrong circle, because sometimes you get in the circle with the cool kids so you can feel significant, and you're in the mean girl club. You're in with the bullies. You're in with the ones that are doing all the things to break the law. People will do whatever they have to do to feel good. And I sometimes was in the right circle and I sometimes was in the wrong circle, but I had a mentor, my grandmother and my grandpa, who instilled in me, as long as you're working for someone else, you're getting their dreams, sending their family to vacation, helping them build a new home. You can work 9 to 5 for your boss, but you need to get off at 5 and say, what can I do for me to build my financial future? Even if it's just an hour a day or 2 hours a week, what can you do part-time that you can take your family on vacation, build your lake home? You go to Hawaii, you have the nonprofit, you put the money in the plate at church. How can you do that? And peace of mind means you have enough to take care of your family and to make impact. Now, a lot of you are saying, I can't live on what I'm getting right now. And the reality is, the statistics, and I wrote them down this weekend, of our nation and our financial situation are not good. I wrote down, I met the most incredible tax lady this week. I mean, she was just amazing. Most of us are paying in way too much in taxes. And what most people don't know is if you have a home-based business and you're pursuing an income, even if you didn't make an income, you would be so far ahead financially just because of the tax benefits. As long as you're ordering, you're on a subscription, you're pursuing an income, you have every tax deduction of a home-based business. And it's massive. Dave's mom was a single mom. She didn't have a lot of, she needed tax benefits. Let's say it like that. And the very first year that she was in business with us, she had $3,500 ahead on her taxes. Now, I'm not a tax person, but the two things I know is we're going to die and we're going to pay taxes. So if you could create a residual income on the side and you had all the tax advantages of a home-based business, her exact words were, you would be an idiot not to find something to do from home. So that's my little 2 cents from Mrs. Epps. That wasn't me talking. But here's what she said. Right now in America, we don't even know how our next generation will be able to afford their own home. A lot of kids are living with their parents because it's just too expensive out there. And one of the lessons that I learned early on was stop spending money that I didn't have on things that I didn't really need to impress people that I didn't really like, that probably didn't care anyway. But it's status. Status is when you spend money you don't have on things you don't need so you can post it up, put it in your stories, get it on the gram, and let everybody think that you're a big deal. And then you go to bed worrying about your credit card debt and your mortgage and your car you can't afford. Nobody cares what car you're driving. My car has 130,000 miles on it. I don't care. It's paid for. I could go buy a brand new car today. Why? So I could show you all that I was significant? That doesn't make me happy. I want to make impact. I would rather give $130,000 and start a recovery center, send somebody to get some mental help or treatment or counseling or create a scholarship than me roll up in my new whatever they call it. What do they call it? I got a new whip. That's what they say. I got a new whip. I moved into a new crib. Now, we all have goals. We all have dreams. I still live in the same house I raised my kids in, and we moved in there in 2001. There's been a lot of chapters since 2001, but I have peace of mind. And I want to encourage you to make a list of all the things that would give you peace of mind. And we're going to start today because right now the numbers are, let me get you this. The numbers are that in America, the average income right now is $68,000 a year. And what it takes to live, 86,000 a year is the average income. Now, I want you to think about this, guys. People can't live on that, pay their mortgage, pay their car payment, pay their insurance, pay their taxes, pay their utilities, and do anything extra. Everybody is looking for a way to make more money and have peace of mind. Average income, $86,000 a year. Average income needed to be a homeowner, $121,000 a year. So credit card debt is rising. People are living a lifestyle they can't afford. And how we thrive and create trust in a recession is share with people all the ways they could make just an extra $200 to $300 a month. $500 a month would keep most people out of a bankruptcy. And there's so many ways that people could do that. Download the Uber app. Start giving people rides. Download DoorDash. Start delivering people's food. Download Rover. Start walking people's dogs. Download Airbnb. Rent out one room in your house. Like, I have had so many different streams of income, but I know this: definiteness of purpose is everything. And you're never going to get something really rolling with momentum if you're trying to shoot 5 rabbits with one gun. So I chose, and I've had a lot of successful businesses: rental properties, med spas, dance schools, manufacturing businesses. But my life right now is absolutely obsessed with a movement that I'm creating to help people with their mental health, with their financial health, mind, body, and bank account. And I'm telling you, I don't have time today to share because I have a top leader getting on stage, and I told her I'll be backstage at 8:30 to help her get mic'd up and get some B-roll. Lindsay Oman is speaking, kicking off this Saturday morning. And this is a girl who, when I met her, had so much financial challenges. She actually went through a divorce. Today, she is remarried to that husband, is building a life of financial freedom, and is so successful. I met her 2 years ago. Now, the first thing that you have to do is realize I have a problem. The second thing that you need to do is say, I need to find a solution. And more than anything, what most people don't do, they have opportunity, it's right in front of them, and they don't get obsessed. They don't take massive and immediate action, and they have indecision. Indecision is the worst decision. It's the worst decision. You're like an octopus with 8 legs trying to figure out which way you want to go. A ship without a rudder is the exact lost soul of a person who's struggling in financial disaster that doesn't have a lifeboat to say, how am I going to get out of this? So one of the things that I did most recently, just to set an example, I put a freeze on all my cards because it's so easy to be on your phone at night when you're just scrolling and buy TikTok this and Facebook that and Amazon. And oh my gosh, when you become a grandma, you literally have no boundaries. Like Kelly was getting packages every day. Like, did you send me this blanket? Did you send me this sleeper? Because I mean, I love them and I want to buy my grandkids all the fun things like Neatos and squishies and, you know, all the things. But we have to be smart about the way that we spend money. My grandpa used to say, if you don't be a tightwad, you're never going to have a wad. Now, I'm not necessarily a tightwad, but even if I'm staying at the Galleria Hotel and I go into a department store, I'm always looking for a good deal because I've had money and I've not had money. And here's what I know. If money flows to a fool, it's not going to stay in those hands. You've got to be smart. Live on 30% of what you're making. Save 10% of what you're making. Tithe 10% of what you're making. And take the rest of whatever that is and invest in yourself and start a home-based business. I don't care what business you start, do something that it's yours. Either you're doing daycare or you're doing Uber or you're building an empire in a direct sales company or real estate or services or whatever it is that you decide to do. In my personal opinion, we should team up, right? We should team up, define your goals and dreams, make a decision what you need to do to go get that and take massive and immediate action. In our company, we have so many top leaders that are mentoring, coaching, helping people get started in a system to where they can dream again. And I'm not telling you that you're going to make money and get rich. That is not what this is about. What if realistically you could just add an extra $100 or $200 or $300 to your monthly income in your family? What if it was $500? And how we do that in our company is when you move products, selling them to a customer, you earn 20% on the real dollar from the very first day. So if someone just has 10 customers that love our product that lights your brain up, the Rise, it tastes so good, 7 organic mushrooms, tuned with frequencies, and people take it and they taste it and they say, never let me run out of this. You find a product that you love, that you believe in, just like I found a product that I love, that I believe in, and you tell people about it. If you help enough other people, you will get everything you ever dreamed of. So for me, my story, my husband lost his brother to suicide. My dad lost his only brother to suicide. Strange, but true. A lot of trauma, my childhood and my married years. And my children have always known that we have a heart for people who are struggling with their mental health. But I never in a million years thought that one of my children would struggle. Now, I think every young adult right now is struggling with scribble head, like a fog brain, heart racing, feeling that like their heart's going to pound out of their chest, even if they have to communicate. Social media has brought everyone to a vibration that is so low, comparison and bullying and just fatigue from trying to keep up, trying to live a life that is so fake. We don't even know what's real and fake anymore because of AI, right? You don't even know if the news is real or fake anymore. I don't listen to it. I don't want to see it. In fact, I had a good friend that was attacked by the media this week, and it was so heartbreaking for me to see social media post something that I knew was a blatant lie to get some headlines that would be basically a money grab, because then they pop an ad on there because it's tragedy and it's trauma and it's negative news. You guys, there's free food outside of this hotel in the dumpster, but I'm not going to get it. And there's free information on social media every day, but be careful what you buy into. There is so much churn and burn fake business and training and all the things out there to grab money that people are just maxing out their credit cards trying to find hope, and they have no idea what they're going to do. Be smart. Put a freeze on your cards. Stop spending money on things that you don't need just because that dopamine hit that you bought something. Stop saying that you're going to do something and not disciplining yourself to follow through and do it. If you have dreams and goals in your heart, let me be the first to tell you, you can have and be and do anything that you dream of. Here's what you need. You need a mentor that's been where you want to be. Look to someone that has the marriage that you want, that has the health that you want, that has the bank account that you would trade with, and quit hanging around people that you wouldn't trade lives with. If you don't want their bank account, if you don't want their relationship, if you don't want their health, stop hanging around that circle. Or if you're going to hang around that circle, please get another one that you can get in so somebody can pull you out of the depths of what's literally like this around your neck, cutting off your oxygen supply, because your potential is so big and people are just stuck. I love helping people. I have a book, No Guts, No Story. And that's why I do this Saturday morning call every Saturday, because my book will take you from us being in a bankruptcy, overcoming a suicide, Dave's mom battling cancer, building a company to be an absolute empire, moving into our dream home, and then watching that entire company go away. Our income was gone. Our dreams were shattered. Our family had our back against the wall. And that book ends when we're on top. The next 25 years are not in that book. The book ends in 2001. You guys, in the last 25 years, this weekend marks 30 years on Memorial Day since Dave and I went full time in direct sales in a home-based business. Now, I've had to rebuild 3 times in 30 years. And at my age, I made a decision. There will be no more of anyone else tearing down the empire that I built. Whatever you're going to do, be careful who's in your circle, because usually what destroys your empire is not on the inside or on the outside. It's this cancer that gets on the inside. And sometimes it's the people you think were your closest friends, your family, or your business partners. Be very smart about who you surround yourself with, because you will be the average of your 5 closest friends. Get a sheet of paper out, make a list of 50 things you want to do in this lifetime, and circle the ones that you want to do in the next 90 days. Put a star by the ones that you want to do in the next year. Put a check mark by the ones that you want to do in the 3 years. Take a highlighter and make a different color for the ones you want to do in 5 years, and write your eulogy. I know this sounds weird, but what will people say at the end of this lifetime? And let me ask you, does that give you peace of mind? Because for me, it's not how much money I made. It's not the shoes that I wear or the bag that I buy or the car that I roll up in or a crib that you see on Instagram. It's the impact that I make on people. And I want to tell you, I don't care if your credit cards are maxed out. My dog was in the pound. I couldn't even afford to get my dog out, and they were going to euthanize the dog. True story. My utilities were turned off. Our car was towed out of our driveway, and we live in a small town, and mean people suck. And there was a lot of them.